What's up everyone, Azzapp here, and today I want to talk about the interactions between streamers and viewers, about a possible rule set and how people behave. Recently I've been seeing a lot of complaints on Twitter either by streamers or viewers that the behavior of the other is inappropriate or weird or whatever. And just last night I saw a post that kind of got me sad the more I kept reading it, so I'm going to share it with you and talk about some possible rules of behavior and what's acceptable and healthy. Okay, let's clear some things up. A streamer is not obligated to interact with anyone on stream, although that kind of defeats the purpose of streaming, could be just a video at that point, but he's not obligated to talk to anyone, okay? Streamer doesn't owe people anything. He doesn't need to thank the follows, donations, subs, and all that type of stuff. It can be a bit of a difficult thing to grasp depending on the culture, and internet is international, and people come from all over the world with different sets of ideas and how to behave, and a lot of the countries and like places in the world, tipping, let's say, is not standard, or giving people money just to support them on doing stuff. So sometimes those types of people can come in, and just because they support the channel like monetary, or sometimes worse off, just by not even supporting, just by following or being there, they demand certain interaction from streamer or access to their personal life. Streamers have a full right to literally not interact with anyone, do their stream, turn it off, never interact with anyone off stream, try to get their life personal or anything, come back, stream again. If you're choosing to support the channel, I'm assuming you're choosing it out of support for the channel because you like and enjoy it. You're not doing it for a particular shout out or to gain something from the streamer. A lot of streamers tend to do those things, and a lot of streamers will shout you out and talk to you and even get to a certain degree of friendship with you, which is great, and that is their goodwill and the type of the community they're trying to build, which is all great. But on the occasion, if you run into a streamer who doesn't, that's just the way he operates, so you can't really blame him. Streamer's channel is, even though it's on Twitch, it's kind of like a governed privately, and he can ban people or do whatever he wants. It's his free domain. If you like it or not, you just stay or leave. Simple as that. Now for that to work, it still needs to be a two-way thing. Streamers need to not lead people on and promise them stuff that they won't give, or trying to hint at the stuff that they're gonna offer to them, or they have to be honest. They just have to be blunt and honest and tell people what their goal is and what type of interaction they want. Honesty is not an easy thing in 21st century, and honesty is a really good way to get rid of people, but it's a difficult thing and it must be done. Okay, so we know that the viewers can kind of push their boundary and overstep and do weird things and try to imagine that this parasocial relationship is turning into something bigger, that they actually belong in streamer's life and they deserve attention and they need to get closer and all that, which is very, very rough for both parties, and it is an uncomfortable experience. And like, this sort of behavior most often happens to female streamers because just how basic human interactions work, and Twitch is a predominantly male platform. So it can be very, very uncomfortable, but the best way out of it is with honesty and truth. It even happened to me to an extent in certain cases, but yeah, you just have to negotiate with people and tell them what do you think for real. It might drive some people away. It might cut your revenue, but at least you're being honest and you're not promising people things that they won't get ever. So there's this post that I read last night. It seems all right at first glance, but the more I read, it just kept getting weirder, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. There's this streamer, which I don't know. I just found this through likes of mutuals. So honestly, I have no beef. I'm not even trying to preach or anything. It's just general behavior, and I'm just trying to like, because all this is a new thing. Twitch is a pretty much new thing for humanity, and we don't know how to deal with it properly. So we just need to like talk about it a bit. And I feel like it's productive to get the conversation going. So my one big regret was not nipping this in bud back in 2018 when it all started. He sent me this message after night he donated $5. We had known each other for a little over 6 months. At this point, streamers, this is a red flag. Okay, so this is like, it seems like a cautionary tale for streamers to not get involved and push deeper connection with people, with random viewers, randoms and stuff like that, which is cool. Like here you can see from what I've read, and I don't know if this person did anything more, I would mute the names, but it's plastered literally everywhere, and you guys can find it anyway. And pretty much so already too late. This got way more likes than my video will get views, so whatever. Kind of sad, but what can you do? Okay, so here we see like an interaction between, like, the guy supported the stream a little bit, then he got into the DMs, and he thought it got a bit more personal than it did. sadly for him, and uncomfortably for her. So right off the bat, you can see that this guy is not a troll because he kind of goes in deep. You can read all of this, but in summary, he just talks about how he's there and he doesn't feel like the streamer feels the same about him. He's getting into the crux of the parasocial relationship and kind of feeling how she's not interested in him as much as he is with her, which is obvious. But to some people, it's not, and he kind of felt that it was fine to get closer, and he thought he might have a better chance of being friends, or maybe even more. So I don't even know, but I don't know. I haven't really read up more about this. I think this is all he did. I don't think he sent any death threats, sexual threats, or stuff like that, trying to dox and all that. So I think this guy is just a little bit maladjusted socially, and he has a clingy personality, which is generally not good when you're trying to make friends, because you tend to push people away. So yeah, the guy proceeds to go on and just get very personal about his life and all that, and this is a red flag, streamers. And now that's all fine, like fine, except posting his name, which kind of is like weird. Why are you shaming a guy for trying to get closer to you? Just let him down and tell him, like, look, I'm a streamer, I do entertainment. If you support me, you're not entitled to owning me, like, let's say. And this is not a give and take. I just do stuff. If you like it, you support. If you don't, like, piss the fuck off. You know, it's that's kind of how you have to deal with this. And like, you can even help the person by telling him, like, look, man, you're kind of overstepping your boundaries. You're making me uncomfortable. This is not good behavior. It's not good, like, future stuff. But obviously that's all optional. That's totally optional if you really want to try to help a person and try to get a little bit empathetic. You don't need to. You're not obligated. Just you can tell him, like, look, cunt, fuck off. Like, that's a bit of a rude thing, but sure. Like, it's all gray area, and it comes down to morality and how you feel. But I feel like what she did is like something you shouldn't do, and that's why I'm kind of talking about this, which kind of made me. If anyone feels the need to pre-ban or block, this is his Twitch handle. So I think this is like one of those Twitter things where you just want to get points, and you get that feeling of fixing the society by banning people or trying to, like, get them canceled or get them fired or, like, publicly shaming. I feel like you just get that rush of, like, oh man, I'm fixing the world by just doing stuff on Twitter, which is so stupid if you ask me. But yeah, if anyone feels the need to pre-ban him, it's just like, I was like, wait, what? Did I read this right? Did he do any sexual advances that are, like, inappropriate or whatever? Like, I really couldn't figure out, like, why she felt the need to just post his name. And apparently he also streams, I think, from what I've read. And here now is like a bunch of people piling in, because that's what people do. And it's like, this is his Discord user ID if you want to ban him there. How do you pre-ban people? And then they, like, just open the console. And yeah, like, followers, casual racism, I think. I don't know. I'm not on Twitter that much. I would say he's canceled, but quite frankly, there's nothing to cancel since Stumpy here never had a leg to stand on anyway. But, like, why do these people get a canceling boner? Like, the guy was inappropriate. Like, have you ever, like, this is the equivalent of having that awkward high school kid that no one hangs around, and then you tell him hi because you're a nice person, and then he gets a bit clingy over you because no one else gave him any attention. So you mention his name, and he's like, he lights up, like, yo, someone is interacting with me, and he gets clingy. What do? You take a picture of his message and tell the entire high school, haha, look at this loser, he's trying to talk to me. It's like, that's the equivalent, honestly. Like, this is the elementary school type of behavior. I think you, like, grow out of this. But apparently on Twitter it's kind of like celebrate. Report his Twitch, can't stand dudes like this. What? I mean, he's just a clingy personality, unless he did something more that I don't know about. But I couldn't seem to find anything. The whole read was kind of creepy. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's horrible. But have you never met people like this? Like, there's people, like, believe it or not, there's people who are maladjusted in the society who can't find their place, who are socially awkward, who don't have, like, a lot of that is not even to blame on them, because to the age of 4, social interaction is the most important. To the age of 6, your brain is like 90% developed. Okay, like, you're extremely dependent on the circumstance, on the time you were born, where you were born. Like, I've known a lot of people like this, especially in Bosnia, because post-war area, I was born right at the end of the war. So the post-war area, a lot of people were left parentless. Okay, so either without one or two parents, or having like people with mental deficiencies or physical issues, being invalids, and it's just a plethora of whole issues. And it's not easy. Life is difficult. People suffer. Like everyone has their own issues, and like this person just never got to properly socialize. Like why? I don't feel the need to plaster his name everywhere and kind of shun him away from everyone and pre-ban him on every Twitch channel that's possible because he was clingy to one person. Like honestly, the best way out here would be just pure truth and honesty, and not leading him on and like, look man, you're probably not gonna get what you're searching for. I get it, that kind of means negating your audience a little bit, losing that one viewer, maybe a little bit of subscriptions, donations. I get it, but I think it's a way better road than to get to this, because well, there's people who actually tend to be malicious eventually at the end of the day. So maybe if you have this type of conversation, go deeper with a person who's really deranged and maladjusted, that can get ugly. So you got to be smart about these cases, because you never know what's going to happen. I just got surprised. I really just got surprised. Like, this doesn't even seem like, this just intrigued me a little bit, and I felt like it was a necessary talk, because I feel a lot of people are going in this general direction of just like cutting people out off of like one bad thing. And I wouldn't even make this video unless I saw the replies, which got me really weird. It's like, why? Like, why? I felt like I was missing pieces of information here. Like, why did they all jump the bandwagon to just destroy him? Like, first of all, just sharing the DMs is a little bit of a scummy move. It can be legal, it can be illegal, depending on the country and the setting. But it's just a little bit of like a scummy move. At least she could have like hidden his name and like. But I get it. Okay, like, she's trying to do it for the sake of streamers, to save streamers from him. But this is like, that's also pointless, because this was very personal thing. Like, he was here for 6 months and he specifically got attached to this person. Okay, that doesn't make him immediately a threat to every single channel in existence, like of both genders. Like, it's just really weird. And I have no idea like why there was a need to just publicly shame him, because I just don't think that's a good way forward for anyone here. Like, if you're trying to be empathetic and trying to help these people, the best way you can do it is by truth, and maybe, like, probably not, in my experience, probably not. It's very difficult for people to grow and change, but maybe there's a chance he will. And like, maybe it requires multiple pieces of information to grow. Like, maybe he lost 2 of his friends before like this, and then this is the 3rd one that kind of spills the cup, and he's like, okay, wait, maybe it's me. And then he starts kind of negotiating with himself and trying to get a more enjoyable person to be around. I really don't know, man. I'm just not a huge fan of this like public shaming, because if you have a person in your class or in your group or in your street, and trust me, I've known a lot of them who are just not doing that well, by far the worst thing you can do is publicly reveal that they're not doing that well. So at the end of the day, that's going to incite another radical reaction. He's either going to start getting more resentful and hating everyone for shunning him away, because he might conclude that the fault is in everyone else, or he might go into a completely opposite term, going into full overcompensation, and then he goes completely closed off and he never interacts with everyone. Which kind of sucks, because his personality is to interact, and that's going to make him at the end of the day depressed, and again, very rough for the, well, entire civilization. Anyway, that was just something I wanted to talk about. What do you guys say about this? Like, does this deserve 5,000 likes? Is this something very useful for streamers? I get it. It was like sexual predator, sexual harassment, threatening, doxing, whatever. He's a menace. He needs to be clipped in the bud, okay? Take him, put him on. If the proper authorities can't handle it, you're doing this for the safety of other streamers. But this type of behavior is just something that streamer... Like, if you ever streamed, you encounter this. Like, straight up. Like, this is just what happens. Like, not everyone is living their best life. And you can either help or just ignore, but try not to do this, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, is this the right thing? Like, how do you deal with this? Is there a better way? What is the plan? And, like, how do we go about these parasocial relationships? And what is the best way forward? And how to operate? On which basis should streamers and viewers operate? Are there specific obligations between one another? And, like, what is the moral code? Anyway, there's just a billion questions, and I hope to intrigue your imagination a little bit and see what you guys think. Whatever. Anyway, see you on the next one.